Ghost Battalion Passage is one of those quests in Where Winds Meet that many of you have probably played already. But have you ever wondered? In traditional Chinese culture, what exactly are ghost soldiers? And what does it mean for them to borrow a passage? Did something like this ever happen in real history? Today, we're going to dig into that. Hi everyone! Welcome back to Shirley's channel. In Where Winds Meet, we uncover the truth behind the Ghost Battalion Passage by piecing together the clues and relics we find along the way. This ghostly army was actually a detachment of the Shuafeng army, wiped out 10 years ago. Back then, the northern frontier was under enemy assault, and they were ordered to hold Eagle Beak Cliff at all costs, so the main forces could retreat. But this was a battle doomed from the start. They were betrayed. Reinforcements never came. Supplies were cut off. And in the end, all 374 soldiers, led by their commander Tangshan, fought until the very last man. And died in despair. Because they died with overwhelming resentment, their spirits could not rest. So day after day, year after year, they continue marching toward the rally point of their final mission. As if they never died. Using the half-tiger tally we recover, we can briefly communicate with the spirit of Tangshan during the Ghost Battalion Passage. He no longer remembers he's dead. He just clings to one obsession. Where are the reinforcements? Is His Majesty safe? That obsession is the anchor that holds the entire Ghost Battalion in place. But here's the thing. Stories about ghost soldiers borrowing a road don't just exist in games. There are real-world accounts too. On July 28, 1976, at 3:42 a.m., Tangshan in Hebei province was struck by a massive 7.8 earthquake. In a matter of seconds, the entire city was reduced to rubble. All transportation, water, power, and communication systems collapsed instantly. Right after the quake, a military rescue unit received urgent orders to head to Tangshan immediately. They mobilized dozens of trucks and rushed toward the disaster zone. But when they were about an hour away, something strange happened. Every single truck broke down at the exact same time. The mechanics checked everything. No problems. No explanation. The rescue team had no choice but to report the situation. Then around 8 p.m., all vehicle headlights suddenly went out in unison. Right at that moment, they received a new order. Push all vehicles to the right side of the road. Leave half the road clear. Everyone get back inside the trucks. No matter what you see, do not speak. Do not move. It sounded bizarre. But soldiers follow orders. They moved the vehicles and waited quietly in the dark. Sometime past midnight, as everyone drifted between sleep and wakefulness, they were startled by the sound of hoofbeats. Then they saw them. Carriage after carriage rolling out from the direction of Tangshan. Each carriage carried a dim green lantern. No drivers. Only piles of human heads. Men, women, children. All with expressions twisted in agony. The soldiers were terrified. But remembering the order, they didn't dare breathe too loudly. Someone counted. There were over 100 carriages. The entire procession lasted more than 10 minutes. And when the last carriage passed, all the headlights on their trucks lit up simultaneously. And every vehicle was suddenly in perfect working condition again. Later, people said, that was ghost soldiers borrowing the road. Ghostly troops from the underworld. Passing through the realm of the living. Generally, there are three kinds of Ghost Battalion Passage in folklore. First, soldiers who died in betrayal or despair, forming lingering resentful spirits. Like the Ghost Battalion in Where Winds Meet. Second, when disasters cause massive casualties and the underworld is overwhelmed, the nether soldiers are dispatched to collect souls. Like what was said to have happened during the Tangshan earthquake. Third, wars in the underworld itself. Yes, even the nether realm has factions and battles, according to folklore. There's also a well-known case in Liang County, Yunnan. Near the Sand Forest Scenic Area, there's a narrow mountain path called the Jingma Trough, only about 40 meters long and less than a meter wide. Animals, horses, cattle, sheep, become terrified the moment they approach it. No matter how you pull or push them, they refuse to go forward. When it rains or gets windy, people hear strange sounds there. Metal clashing, horses neighing, battle drums echoing through the valley. Villagers say they've seen ancient soldiers in armor fighting in the mist. Elderly locals believe these are the spirits of soldiers who died there over 1,000 years ago, borrowing the road again and again during storms. Researchers even tested it. A horse brought to the area immediately panicked, trembling all over and refusing to move forward. Even a fierce dog dropped to the ground whining. Researchers themselves reported hearing the eerie sounds of battle. And beyond these stories, ancient books like Northern Ji Book, Taiping Guanji, and Nansuan Chuigung Lu all record similar events. Ghost troops marching through the mortal world. Before we wrap up, there's something I really want to say. Stories like Ghost Battalion Passage hit us so deeply because they blur the line between history, legend, and the human heart. In Where Winds Meet, those ghost soldiers march because of loyalty, because of promises they couldn't keep, because of a mission cut short. And in real life, every ghost soldier story, whether in Tangshan, Yunnan, or in ancient Chinese texts, is really about the same thing. People who left this world too suddenly, too unwillingly, too full of things they never got to finish. Maybe that's why these tales follow us across centuries. Because deep down, we all understand what it means to carry regrets, to hold on to something, to not be ready to let go. So whether you treat this as folklore, history, or just a good spooky tale, I hope it reminds you of one thing. Every soul, real or fictional, marches for a reason. And every unfinished story deserves to be remembered. That's all for today's episode of Shirley's Strange Tales. If you enjoyed this kind of story, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.